Hello everybody, today we're gonna play another game. So, what should we play? The French or the Caro-Kann? Let's play the French defense, because this is also what I play on my main channel, where I'm 2100. So he takes the exchange French, sometimes a bit boring, but I will show you my line, which I also showed in the French video, you should check out. We just solidify the pawn in the center, and now we develop the bishop to this square. Also the knight can go after the bishop because we played c6. We will probably castle, we will castle, bring the rook to the e-file. But first we develop our bishop. It is in a pin right now because this bishop is over here, but it blocks the rook. So we would love to make it more active. Going on this diagonal, we just drop back. If he goes g4, it's just weaknesses for us. So I really would like to see g4. And if he moves the bishop, then we have the pin. So let's see what he'll do. I will also bring my knight right now to defend this knight. So if he takes, we can just take back. Also I have the idea of attacking this pawn over here, but I would like to first play some rook e1 move maybe. But I'm not sure, so let's watch what he is going to play. I don't know what he should play. He goes to the center, so that means the bishops are staring at each other, so we should take his bishop. If he takes like this, we take the queen, so he has to take back. Maybe there's this, so yeah, he takes back. Now we can take. This is a fork, so we shouldn't go for that line, but we also need to watch out because he wants to play this, and we can take back. So the move I like is this move, because if he takes, we just take back, and if he takes like this, we also take back. So queen to b6. Also we put pressure to the pawn and to the pawn in the center. So let's see what he is going to do. I also still like this move rook e1, just bringing it closer to the center on the open file. So he goes passive and defends the pawn, which I really like. Now we also have the idea of maybe jumping in sometime, but not now because he takes and because we lose this one. But let's just play the rook to e1 because this move is the move we always wanted to play, and now we try to take the knight with our knight or bishop. Let's say knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes. No, bishop takes because then we defend this one and he doesn't get to damage our pawns. So he takes. We can throw in this move, but I don't know which is better. I think it's better. It is better to take back because now we can just recapture with the rook and not hand over the file to him. So this bishop we can kick it away, so we get a loft for the king in the future, just winning a tempo, which I think is nice. Yeah, we had the idea of take, and then you might say free pawn, but I like keeping control of the file. Even though now I like it because now he has lost the tempo. So let's say we go here. He can take with the knight, which is not bad for us because now we can just bring the other rook to the file, and we have control of the file. If he plays this, we can just take the pawn, which is nice. Also like the idea of bringing the bishop back, creating a battery, starting an attack. Still like this h6 idea. Our knight would also like to get in the game somehow because now it's really blocked by these pawns. But that is possible if the bishop moves because we don't want to damage our pawn structure. So he just solidifies, which is a good move. Now I like to go for this, but first I will play this h6 move. Like I told you, it's not really a love because this square is protected, so you still have to watch out. And now I'm thinking also about this move because this knight isn't doing anything. So let's just first put all of our pieces on good squares before we do anything else. So now the knight will have the prospect of moving here in the future. And now I'd like to set up this idea. Because if we get this battery, he goes queen to f5. Okay, he's going aggressive, but I don't think it really matters. We do have this move. This move, forking the pawn and the knight. Which is, I think, also a pretty good move. But let's see what is the idea of the queen move. It's to take, and after take he takes our knight. So we might have to defend this, or we jump in with our knight. So if we jump in, he can maybe play something like this, weakening the king, but forcing our knight to move again. We can also just bring our rook up, defending the knight, so this isn't a problem, which I like. And then he will play this, and we can just grab it. We do give him the bishop pair, which I don't like, but I also don't really like moving the knight. We can also just drop back, or with the bishop. If we drop back with the queen, we don't have the pressure on the queen side anymore, and we will give him time to consolidate, but then we can go for this idea. But at the end, if that works, so let's say we go like this, he has this move, attacking the queen, winning the bishop, and we just wasted like 5 moves or something. So it's not that easy. So we can also maybe do this, which looks really crazy, but isn't that crazy, because after take we go here. He's gonna have to move the knight somewhere, and then we can take the pawn. He will bring the rook to the center. We can take another pawn, and his king is a bit weak, but still don't like it. Still thinking about this move. Also don't really like it. But I really like the queen over here, so maybe we go like this, which is alright, but then he will get his knight in. So this is actually very difficult. So what would you think to play in this position? It should be something to defend the knight, or to chase away the queen. No, we can do that exactly. We can also maybe play this move, or drop back, or okay, go with the queen. Yeah, let's go back with the queen, because I like the queen over here, but in the future he would just play h6 and move the knight, and the queen isn't doing anything. So now at least prevent this idea, and let's see how he will play. He will play king to f1, which is a decent move, I think. No, I think we can just make a slow move, like getting the bishop out of the way, creating an idea, not now because he has this idea, but for the future. We also like this move, putting a bit of pressure down this line. But we can also in the future maybe play this once this idea doesn't work anymore. Also, I like this again, because then we trade the knights and we get very much dark squared weaknesses. Ooh, so he moves the knight, which means we can just very happily jump in with our knight. Why? Because after this he gets forked. Not like that. Oh, not like that. Like that. It's a fork. So he puts his knight here. He wants to jump in, which I can. But now I think we can move here, because if he jumps in, we can just take it. So let's get the queen in, chasing this pawn, and then attacking the rook. So I think he has to play something like this. Then we can give a check. And where will the king move? If he moves back, it just wasted a move. We can maybe get it like this. And if it moves this way, we may have this move. So let's give the check. He cannot block. If he moves here, I also like this move. I think he will then bring his rook to the center. But then we don't pressure the pawn anymore. So maybe we move here. Kinda like pressuring a bunch of stuff. Actually like this move a lot. And then after this, we can move here. Yeah, let's go for that line. Taking the rook. What will we do? We also have this move, because we take the queen and then we take back with the knight. So we want a pawn. Then we just have to make sure that our knight could get away, because it would, if it was on this square, it would have these squares to escape. No, making a lot of mistakes. So takes, we win the queen. Takes, we take the rook, we take the pawn, and we have this escape square. So I like taking. One important thing, we do have to take with the rook first. We check. Why? Because if he takes and we take the queen, he takes our rook, we have to move, and he wins our bishop. And he has a rook. Yeah, so he goes for that, so we go check. And this is, I think, the move he missed, because now he's just gonna lose the queen. And that is GG. So we take the queen. I think he can resign now. I don't know if he will, but he should, because it is over. Because